Yeah,
So
exactly. But it was that era helped a lot, right? And then obviously turning that into the band stuff that I was doing, and I just learned a lot on the way that was a direct crossover. Not everything's a direct crossover, obviously. There's still some new thing, a lot of new things that I needed to learn, but at least prepared me for where I'm at now, to the point to where it's like it almost felt second nature. But in the same respect, the Riververse doesn't work, and you've had the luxury of meeting like all of our team members, right? And for the most part, and they're fucking killers, man. Like
yeah,
these guys are rock stars, man.
yeah.
And the old saying, "Teamwork makes the dream work," is so true. And that was the first thing that I had to do when I saw those numbers come in. Immediately, I was like, "Oh shit." I got to bring more people in, because now I'm having to sell. Oh, I'm thinking I'm gonna sell 1,000 or something like that. Then that turned into just, oh, here's $1,000,000 in 30 hours. I was like, oh shit, like this is a completely different animal. So I turned my a lot of my part-time guys into full-time guys, brought some other folks in to facilitate some of the big positions, executive positions, like Carol, which she had already been here, and Brandon, obviously, Alex, people that I could vouch for, that I could trust. That was the most important thing, right? It's like, your business explodes like that, and now you got to bring people in. But it's not just like grabbing someone off the street just because they got experience.
Right.
You got to bring people in that you trust, right? Like, this is something that a once in a lifetime opportunity. I can't just pick a guy and say, "Hey, you want to be my financials." I was like, I gotta get a guy that's not only like qualified to do it, but I also got to get a guy that I know I could trust, right? Because I'm very much of the belief that, like, if I'm going to hire you to be in that, like, a position like that, if I don't trust you, why do I have you in that position? In other words, let these guys work. And it was so easy, or so much easier, let's say that, to run the company having rock stars like we've had, like Carol, like
Yeah, but how hard is it as someone that's so hands-on everything
yeah,
to, like, we'll just pick on Brandon for a minute
yeah.
because he has terrible basketball takes. But let's like how hard is it to take a piece of the pie, and just say, I'm not gonna touch it, here, like,
Difficult.
I bet it was.
I'm not
I
gonna sit
bet
there
it
and
was.
lie to you. It's difficult. It absolutely was. It was something that I knew needed to happen, but it wasn't like it was easier to do it because, again, I could trust these guys. But it's still like, to your point, I'm a hands-on guy. Like, I'm a guy that
Yeah.
likes to be. I packed a bunch of orders. I was in there hustling. I like to have my hands on, like, perspective on everything. But it's like, when you got guys that you could trust, it made it easy for me to be like, you know what, Brandon, the
Yeah.
warehouse operations, that's yours.
Yeah.
Whatever the policies, the procedures are going to end up being, I'm trusting you to run that. And I make this point all the time when I'm at the warehouse, right? To the employees there, don't come to me asking me for nothing. I'm not your boss, right? Like, I'm here if I'm here packing orders, I'm here as an employee, right? Like, don't you still got to go through the big guy, right? Because that's his spot, right? That
Yeah.
he runs that part of the organization. So it was difficult. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. Definitely his hands on I am. It was very difficult to do it. But man, early on though, it got validated because these guys do such a phenomenal job. And like at what they do, I don't have much complaints. Anything that we do need to clean up on, or there's something that needs my perspective, these guys don't hesitate to ask me, like, what are you thinking? I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm seeing, right? And there's also those times where you got to humble yourself. I say this all the time about owners that are hands-on like me. You go humble yourself real quick, because there may be a point to where, like, if you got leadership and you trust them with the jobs, and maybe you see something differently, right? But collectively, they're seeing it this way. You might, I don't want to say you get vetoed, because yeah, ultimately my say is the last say, right? Like, on everything.
Sure.
It's kind of how it works. But in the same respects, in order to make sure that we're running this ship the way that it needs to be ran, I got to trust these people to do their job. So even if I'm thinking something else, but the other guys are like, Eric, we've done the data. We're the ones here day to day. We've ran everything that needs to be ran. This makes more sense, and this is why. And I'll be like, okay. Might have not saw that initially, but I'm gonna trust you that that's the position that's what we need to do, and we roll with it. So there's gonna be those times that you gotta humble yourself. You absolutely have to humble yourself with that, and it's been one of those things where, again, having people you can trust makes it a lot easier to do.
Clip, clip, and snip, snip.